Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News as the Game Changers World Championship continues. Big questions on Ye and the Bleed Esports team as they prepare for a big tournament in Japan in a couple of days' time. Rumour has it, Ye's visa to go to Japan might not have been sorted as is intentional, and therefore many international events this season, and certainly this one coming up, might be at risk for Ye. Will he be there in attendance? What does that mean for the potential performance of their squad? Rumours as well on Sentinels and how good they were looking in practice last night. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Firstly, though, some roster stuff. Xand, notable player from the Brazilian scene, he officially decided to call it a day and retire as of yesterday. Hung up my boots today. I open stream and talk about it. Goes on to say how, it just doesn't really make that much sense for him anymore. So, maybe makes more sense for him to go down the streaming route. There's obviously been questions about his career and the decisions he's made over the last couple of years. But, given that he's not exactly a brand new hot prospect on the scene, maybe this makes sense. But hopefully, wishing the best for him going forwards. Now, we've got to talk, though, about the Game Changers World Championship because it's going on at the moment. If this clip actually wants to play, I guess I'll just refresh to make sure that it does. But 3 games were going on yesterday. We had SR, of course, the big favourites for the tournament. They played their first game, and that was against the EDG girls on the other side of the stage, which is, look, they had a pretty spectacular walkout, I'm not going to lie. The performance in the server was somewhat less spectacular. BBL Queens as well, they played their first series. Believe one of their players had to play from isolation. At least that was the rumor, but I didn't get to quite catch this series. But this, it wasn't particularly close. It was a 2-0 over Crew Blaze. Sunset was 13-7. Bind was 13-11. So competitive couple of maps, but in the end, BBL Queens get over the line. They started out 5-1 down on the Sunset before quickly turning things around. So they're one of the other teams that could make some impact in this tournament. There's a few potential favourites. Quite a lot of them were in action yesterday, actually, because this Shopify Rebellion team, man, look, we knew full well this Edward Gaming roster, they're in a tough spot. Their star duelist of the team, she couldn't make it out here, unfortunately. SR big favourites anyway. But, the level of this domination was just absurd. Look at this scoreboard, man. Mel, I know she was tweeting afterwards saying that what a phenomenal IGL she is. She either says Neuer go kill or she says Floor go kill. And that tends to work out pretty well because Haven was 13-1. EDGS won a single round on the first half and then they lost another pistol. And the game was just over so quick. So these girls are obviously the favourites of the tournament for a reason. And Edward Gaming's female team in a difficult spot. But still, I thought that there'd be a few more rounds going on the board because a 13-1 game 1 is pretty ridiculous. And then Sunset was 13-2. So on Edward Gaming's team's pick, they won a single round more. Kind of insane, right? How they went down at 9-0. They won a round. They lost 13-1. And then they lost another 7 in a row before winning a couple. And then still they went down at the end. So, yeah, these girls down to losers brackets. SR continue on. And Neuer drops 24 on the Cypher. It's just GC fun, you know what I mean? It's anything is possible here. And as Alexis says, 2-0 versus Edward Gaming, so they move on to the next round pretty emphatically. So this, though, was the biggest game of the day, was Team SMG, the undefeated team from the APAC region against G2 Gozen, team with lots of experience, team that, of course, is effectively defending last year's World Championship victory at the Game Changers World Championship. And they lost map 1. SMG looking really good. 2 of the kind of, as I say, SR are the favourites for this tournament, and for good reason, as we just saw. But these are 2 of the teams that would be considered to be definitely final potential, and G2 goes and looking to defend their crown. They lost Bind 13-8, but after that, they bounced back. They won SMG's map pick 14-12 after a crazy overtime, and it's got to be said, icing up when it matters. G2 goes and just, have that level of experience, and they took that momentum into the final map and dominated it 13-4 with Petra dropping 25 on the Jet. So very impressive from G2 Gozen. They advance onwards, and the 35-0 or 36-0, whatever it was, streak of Team SMG over the last several months comes to a close, and G2 Gozen take them down. It's not exactly all over yet, of course. They're down to the losers brackets. Very impressive that they made a run this deep, but I think inevitably they were going to face a more challenging competition at this particular tournament. So this is the way the bracket presently looks. G2 goes on already onto the upper finals. That match is on December the 1st. But today, there are 3 games. We've got, first of all, it's EG Team Liquid in the losers bracket. Both of those teams not won a map so far. It's kind of funny, like all of the first round games were 2-0s, and then the only upper semi-final so far has been a 2-1. But on current evidence and with how SR are looking, you'd expect them to get the job done against BBL Queens relatively emphatically, but we'll see. I mean, SR, they could obviously, you know, it's not guaranteed they make the run, but still, SR versus G2 goes in the upper finals. That would be the expectation. Liquid versus EG in the lower bracket, Crewblaze versus Edward Gaming in the lower bracket. The winner of that plays SMG as well. So it feels like almost certainly Team SMG will get through to losers round 3, and I wouldn't be massively surprised if our top 3 this tournament are G2, Shopify, and Team SMG if they were to make a losers bracket run. Of those 3, who's going to win? That's a question. We've seen G2 seem to have an edge over SMG for now. What I'm looking forward to, though, is SR versus G2, because that's probably going to be the battle for the championship, quite possibly. And, well, that is probably going to happen on December the 1st if today's matchup goes as expected, with that being the 3rd game of the day, of course, in the same way that it was just yesterday. Now, another tournament that's going on very soon is this one, the Riot Games One Pro Invitational 2023, December the 3rd, December the 4th, in Yokohama, Japan. 4 teams in attendance. We saw just the other day, Detonation Focus Me confirmed their very exciting team, kind of partnership as well with Crazy Raccoon going forwards. Zeta Division, Na'Vi, one of the best teams theoretically in EMEA, and basically that is just Na'Vi of last year, but with Artist coming back, same as FPX really, from what it was pre-franchising. And then Bleed Esports, massive excitement for this tournament, mainly because how are they going to do with Yay? How's it going to go? Here are the matches that are going on. Bleed play Na'Vi first of all, they play Zeta and they play DFM on December the 3rd, and then I guess on the 4th there's then going to be, well, I imagine they're going to have some sort of way to determine a winner from this, but it's not quite clear exactly what that is at the moment, as far as I'm aware. But potentially, Yay will not actually be here. So yesterday there was a tweet that went out and it got posted on Reddit, but the tweet has now been deleted, where Yay said, I'm pretty sure what he said is visa issues and then like a sad face, or like you know, a slanting downward face, something like that, because we can see evidence of it right here where Yay tweeted this, which has since been deleted. Interestingly as to why, Vanity then replies and says, I'm down to play, just let me know. Yay's like, my spot is yours. So what is it about these kind of approval people and just hating Valorant players? This might just be a Japan thing, right? And it might not mean that Yay has too many issues, because, you know, Yay is out there in Singapore. He has been for some time as, you know, an effective import from the North American region. But at the same time, you know, a lot of these tournaments are international, and then if visas are problems, then visas are problems. And we've seen this with plenty of players over the last couple of years. Of course, Something was the big example last year, right, where, you know, getting to Masters Tokyo seems to be Japan visas, bit of a problem. And in this scenario, Yay is clearly struggling with it. But it's a bit of a frustrating one for Bleeds, because this is a great opportunity for them to get some good practice in. There's some good teams there, the new Detonation roster, the Zeta Division roster, the Na'Vi team. So they will apparently not have yet, at least for now. Here they are. See you all soon, Japan. Mr. Jake will be flying from the US. See you there, Yay. Now, we thought that Yay was out with the boys in Singapore, and he definitely was for some time, but apparently now he's back in the US trying to get his visa sorted, I'm guessing is what is happening at the moment. But the tournament begins in a couple of days, December the 2nd, December the 3rd. So Yay only has a couple of days. He then says we'll be reunited with my true love, so I don't know whether they'll be able to get this sorted in time, but for now it seems like Yay's having some issues with this. Maybe it's just Japan being a tricky place to get into. Maybe that's what's going on this one, and if they can resolve it, sure. If they can't, then they're going to have issues. They won't be able to play with Yay. They'll have to play with somebody else instead. Maybe their coach comes in. But that's not going to be ideal practice for them. And also as fans, we unfortunately won't probably get to see how they're looking with Yay. I think lots of people are really excited to see how they're going to do with Yay. How's he faring? How's he going to do on this, that agent? But maybe we're not going to get any evidence of that, unfortunately, in the very near future. The other thing to mention before we close out those from Sentinels, because Doesnerth tweets this out yesterday where he says, at this point, if you don't buy the Sen team capsule, then you are thrown. Now, I said yesterday, right, that when Artist did the tweet 2 days ago about Heretics and the fact that, oh yeah, they're going to win everything this season basically after they beat them in a scrim, there's going to be plenty more examples such as that. And this is one such example here where Sen Z, so Sen Zekken, were playing somebody and beating them 22-2. We know that in scrims, when the pros play, they don't play to 13, they just play all 24 rounds. It's quite rare though that you get screenshots up to 24 rounds. Quite often they'll be like, 15-7 or something like that anyway. You won't always get to see what it's like after all 24. But we see in this case, Sentinels 22-2 against somebody or other. We don't exactly know who, but there have been some rumors. Zekin responds and tries to downplay it a little bit. It's just like, don't read into this all that much. But there was talk from Moose, for example, because Zelta says, I'm normal, just bold, says Sassy. And Moose is like, look, brother is not normal. He was moving different in that last scrim. So whether that's what's going on and it's potentially like Turtle Troop or whatever they were playing against, I guess that remains to be seen and we might not ever be able to find out. But Sentinels, of course, they're not going to play nobody, do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to play, if they are going to play, top tier 2 challenger teams if they're going to play teams that aren't in tier 1. So a 22-2 result is still pretty impressive nonetheless. And that's pretty much all the talking points for today. Very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. These are just the top players of day 2 of the Game Changers World Championship. And as you might well expect, it was Eva from BBL Queens. And then basically just everyone on Shopify Rebellion. Looks kind of similar really to when Fnatic play a tournament. And they've got Chronicle, Durka, Leo, and Alpha all as top 4. And then Boaster is somewhat further behind, but it's still early days in this one, but you've got to expect some crazy results and performances at the GG World Championship because that's what makes this scene pretty entertaining. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.